On August 24, 1992, Hurricane Andrew, one of the most powerful and devastating hurricanes in U.S. history, made landfall in South Florida. With winds reaching up to 165 mph, Andrew left a trail of destruction in its wake, destroying tens of thousands of homes, causing widespread power outages, and displacing over 250,000 people. The hurricane not only tested the resilience of the affected communities, but also exposed weaknesses in disaster preparedness and response that would shape future policies. This narrative explores the origins, impact, and lasting legacy of Hurricane Andrew, a storm that fundamentally changed how the United States approaches disaster management.
Hurricane Andrew began as a tropical wave off the west coast of Africa on August 14, 1992. Initially, it showed little sign of becoming a major storm, struggling to gain strength as it moved across the Atlantic Ocean. However, by August 22nd, conditions became more favorable for development, and Andrew rapidly intensified into a Category 5 hurricane, the highest classification on the Saffir-Simpson scale. As it approached the Bahamas, Andrew's wind speeds reached 175 mph, causing significant damage to the islands of Eleuthera and the Berry Islands. The storm continued its westward path toward the Florida coast, maintaining its intensity and giving residents only a short window to prepare for what was coming. By the time Andrew made landfall in South Florida, it had become one of the most powerful hurricanes ever recorded in the Atlantic Basin.
At 5 a.m. on August 24th, Hurricane Andrew slammed into the small town of Homestead, Florida, just south of Miami. The eye wall, the most intense part of the hurricane, passed directly over the area, bringing with it sustained winds of 165 mph and gusts that likely exceeded 200 mph. The storm surge, reaching up to 17 feet in some places, inundated coastal areas while the ferocious winds flattened entire neighborhoods. The devastation was unprecedented. Homestead, Florida City, and other nearby communities were almost completely destroyed. Approximately 63,000 homes were severely damaged or destroyed, and 82,000 businesses were affected. The damage was so extensive that it rendered entire neighborhoods unrecognizable, with only piles of debris remaining where homes once stood. Power outages affected more than 1.4 million people, and many were left without clean water or basic necessities for weeks.
Although the storm's official death toll was relatively low, -26 in Florida, the impact on human lives was immense. More than 250,000 people were left homeless, and many had to seek refuge in overcrowded shelters. The destruction of homes, schools, and hospitals left communities struggling to care for the injured and displaced. The psychological toll was also significant, as families faced the daunting task of rebuilding their lives from the ground up. The initial response to the disaster was chaotic and inadequate. Local and state agencies were overwhelmed by the scale of the hurricane, and the federal response was slow to mobilize. This delay in aid and resources led to widespread frustration and criticism, with many residents feeling abandoned in their time of greatest need. To the failures in response highlighted serious shortcomings in disaster preparedness and coordination at all levels of government.
After devastating South Florida, Hurricane Andrew moved into the Gulf of Mexico, where it briefly weakened before re-strengthening and making a second landfall in Louisiana on August 26th. But not as powerful as it had been in Florida, Andrew still caused significant damage along the Gulf Coast. In Louisiana, the storm brought winds of up to 115 mph and a storm surge that flooded coastal communities. The agricultural sector was hit particularly hard, with extensive damage to sugarcane fields and citrus groves. Oil production in the Gulf of Mexico was also disrupted, leading to temporary economic impacts. Our total, Andrew caused 17 deaths in Louisiana and left thousands more homeless, adding to the storm's overall toll.
Hurricane Andrew caused an estimated $27 billion in damage, making it the costliest natural disaster in U.S. history at the time. The destruction was so severe that it led to the insolvency of several insurance companies, prompting a crisis in the insurance industry. The aftermath of the storm exposed the vulnerabilities in building codes, particularly in South Florida, where many homes were not constructed to withstand such powerful winds. Rebuilding efforts were slow and fraught with challenges. The scale of the destruction required not just the reconstruction of homes and businesses, but also significant upgrades to infrastructure and public services. In response to the inadequacies revealed by the hurricane, Florida implemented stricter building codes, requiring structures to be built to withstand higher wind speeds. These regulations have since become a model for hurricane-prone areas across the country.
The widespread devastation caused by Hurricane Andrew prompted significant changes in disaster preparedness and response policies in the United States. The storm highlighted the need for better coordination between federal, state, and local agencies, leading to reforms in the Federal Emergency Management Agency, FEMA, and the establishment of the National Response Framework. One of the key lessons from Andrew was the importance of communication and timely distribution of resources. The slow response and lack of coordination in the immediate aftermath of the storm led to widespread criticism and ultimately to significant restructuring within FEMA, making it more effective in future disasters. The disaster also underscored the importance of public awareness and preparedness. Community outreach programs and education campaigns were launched to help residents better understand the risks associated with hurricanes and how to prepare for them. These efforts have helped to save lives in subsequent storms by encouraging proactive measures and ensuring that communities are better equipped to handle emergencies.
Hurricane Andrew left a lasting mark on the communities it devastated and on the nation as a whole. The storm's legacy is evident not only in the physical changes to South Florida's landscape and architecture, but also in the improvements to disaster management policies and practices. The stricter building codes implemented after Andrew have made homes and businesses more resilient, while the lessons learned from the storm have been applied to emergency management strategies nationwide. Andrew's impact on the insurance industry also led to the creation of the Florida Hurricane Catastrophe Fund, designed to provide additional financial resources in the wake of major storms. This fund has become a critical tool in helping the state recover from subsequent hurricanes, ensuring that insurance companies remain solvent and capable of assisting in the rebuilding process. For the people who lived through Hurricane Andrew, the memories of that terrifying night and the difficult months that followed remain vivid. The storm tested the resilience and resolve of the affected communities, and their recovery is a testament to their strength and determination.
Hurricane Andrew was more than just a powerful storm. It was a turning point in the way the United States prepares for and responds to natural disasters. The devastation it caused highlighted critical flaws in building practices, emergency response, and disaster preparedness, leading to reforms that have made communities safer and more resilient. As we reflect on Andrew's legacy, we are reminded of the importance of vigilance, preparation, and the strength of communities coming together in the face of adversity.